Well, hello guys, this is Raj from IPRO Games, and in this video, I'm going to teach you how to create PONG in Unity, a 2D game, in just 10 minutes. So let's get started right away. First of all, I'm having a camera in my scene. No, you can just delete the directional light and let the main camera remain. If you have created the project with a 3D template, you can go, you can switch with this button, so you can go to 2D mode, and in the camera just go and make the size 22 and the projection to orthographic and clear flag solid color and background to a complete black. And I'm having some assets over here. These are just basic sprites made with GIMP. I'll have a link. I'll make a folder with these sprites and have a link for these in the description. So okay, I'll give the Unity file in this link as in the description. You can download the Unity file and you can copy the setup and you can use it as a reference if you want. So first of all, we'll take the bound asset over here. So drag and drop it in the screen. So take the bound asset and drag and drop it in the screen, and now you can go and reset the position. So we'll go through this quickly. Rename it to bound right. So I'll go bound right, and we can set the X position to 30, so it's on the right side now, and we can set the scale on the Y to 15, so it's the right boundary now. And then we can duplicate it and we can rename it to bound.left. So bound left, and then we can go to go -30 on the X, and now we are having the right and left boundaries. And now we can drag the bound asset again and we can make the up and down boundaries with it. So we go reset the transform and go rotate 90 on the Z, and now scale it 15 on the Y and move it up to position it to 21 on the Y. Yeah, so we are having the upper boundary now. We can rename it to bound up, and then we can duplicate it and rename it to bound down. So we'll go bound DOWN down, and now we can position it to -21 on the Y. So -21. So we are having the upper and up, down, right, left. So 4 boundaries are ready now. So we'll have to create a mid boundary also. So we can take the bound right or left, whichever you want, duplicate it and rename it to bound mid. So I'll go bound MID mid. So yeah, and you can reset the transform on it. So go reset the transform and 0.1 for the scale in the X, and for the scale on the Y go 15 again. So we are having the mid boundary 2. Now we can drag the paddle asset, so just drag and drop it in the screen and reset the transform. Go 2 on the scale on the Y, and for the position go 25 on the X. So 25 on the X, and we can rename it to paddle right. So paddle R, yeah, shorthand for right, and duplicate it and rename it to paddle L. So paddle L. Yeah, and for the position we'll go -25 on the X, so -25. So we are having a basic screen setup ready, and a ball prefab is there. And what it is having, just I created a empty game object, put the sprite of the ball in it, and added a rigid body 2D and a script. So I'll explain what the script is having. A rigid body 2D, a circle collider, and so that's the ball prefab. And now also we'll create text objects for the score. So we'll go UI, text mesh pro. The first time you import it, you'll get a window over here, and just click on import TMP essentials. So we'll rename the text mesh pro to score. We'll rename it score R, and we can duplicate it and we'll rename it to score L. So score L, so right and left, scores for the right and left. And we can go to the canvas and set UI scale mode to scale with screen size. And now we can go to the left and right scores, and I'll change a bit of the formatting on them. So first of all, we write 0 in the text, and then for the font I'll choose Pixel Boy. You can choose whatever you want, and then we'll make it bold 60 for the font size. And now we can position these two. So I'll go and anchor the right one on the right side of the screen, and then we'll go to the left one and anchor it on the left side of the screen. So if you double click on the canvas, you can see these. So now you can reposition this, so bring it a bit down. So first of all, I'll say take both of these, the Y go -177, and now you can position them in the middle of the screen. So I'll go there, and yeah, and take the L right one, and yeah. So we are having the basic screen setup ready, and now we can go and look at what the scripts are there. So first of all, we'll take our paddles, so the paddles, and we'll add a box collider 2D to both of them, and add a physics material. So I've created a physics material named bounce, you can create it a physics material and just zero out the friction and give a value of 1 for the bounce. Put it on the paddles, and for the up and down boundaries again we'll add box colliders, and physics material we'll choose bounce. And now for the right and left boundaries, again we'll add a box collider and we'll choose is trigger on both of them. So yeah, our screen setup is ready, and we have added the colliders. So let's check out what the scripts are having. So we are having 5 scripts over here. We'll go through all of these one by one. So first of all, we'll look at the ball move script, and what it is having is that we are referencing the rigid body of the ball. Then we are creating a public float speed, and then we are referencing the instantiate class which I created. I'll show you what it is having. So what it is having is like it's just instantiating the ball. So we are referencing the ball over here, and at vector 3.0, and the rotation is quaternion dot identity. So it's creating a ball, and we are having a public void restart, and we are calling that method in the start function, start method. So we'll go to the ball move again. I have also created a score class. So if you go it, you see that we are referencing the score text objects, the score right and left, and here we see that if the score, we are having 2 methods over here, score L and score R. So if this is called, we'll increase the left side of score on the left side. If this is called, we'll increase the score on the right side. You can see the code over here. It's easy to understand. And then we go to the ball move script, and we see that at the start we are getting the score class and create ball class. So I have named the instantiate this class as create ball, don't mind it. And then I have created coroutine, and then we are waiting for 1 second, and then we are taking getting 2 integers, making 2 integers x and y, and then we are getting a random dot range, and we are passing 0 as the minimum value and 2 as the maximum value. And it won't ever give us 2 because it doesn't choose the maximum value. It always gives us a number between maximum minus 1 and the minimum value. And since we want an integer, it will only give us 0 or 1. So we check that if it is 0, then if it is 0, then we want it to become minus 1, or if it isn't 0, we want it to become 1. So we'll get a minus 1 or a 1 always from this. And then we get the access to rigid body over, so ball dot velocity, and when we set the velocity to a new vector 2, and we multiply the speed, so we are having a float speed over here, and the speed is multiplied by x and y. And then we are having a void on trigger 2D, and spell it correctly, and there we see that if we'll also be adding tags to our left and right boundaries, because whenever our ball touches those, we want that to be a game over screen, like we want to add a point to one of the players. And yeah, if the tag is matching defeat, so I created a tag defeat, and if it is matching, then we want to destroy the ball. So destroy game object after 2 seconds and create ball restart. So instantiate, on the instantiate class we are calling the restart function. So if we check that if the collider's name is bound dot right or bound right, whatever you want, whatever you have named the object in Unity, and if it is, then we want to call the score L function in the score class, which I showed you. And if it isn't, then if it is bound left, we want to call the score R. So if the right boundary is being hit, we want to increase the score on the left, and if the left boundary is being hit, we want to increase the score on the right. And we are also having a paddle script, so this is responsible for the movement of the paddles. So there, first of all, we are referencing the 2 paddles, and we are having a vector 2 speed, and we are what I am doing here is we are using the arrow keys to control the right paddle and W and S to control the left paddle. So we see that if we press W or S, we have a speed vector. So we are multiplying the speed vector into time delta, and we will set 0 on the x of the speed vector in the inspector, and like something on the y. So if it is a positive value in the y, our object will go up, and if it is a negative, so we are adding a negative sign over here, it will go down. And same for the others also, other 2 conditions, just we are using paddle R and paddle L. That's the difference. So this is our movement script for our paddles. And now if we see the bound script, so this is a bound script, so this will make our paddles be inside the screen. So we are having a maximum and a minimum float. We will set up these in the inspector, and we are having a late update over here, and inside it we get the position of our paddles and set it to so a new vector 3, and we let the x position remain whatever it is, and then we clamp the y position between the maximum and the minimum values, and the z position is what it is. So that's what all the scripting was. And now we can go back to Unity, and so we'll create a empty game object and name it to game manager. Game manager, M-A-N-A-G-E-R, yeah, game manager. And then we can add the paddle script to it. So this is responsible for the movement of the paddles. Instantiate script, so this will create the ball, and the score scripts for responsible for the scores. So didn't add the instantiate script. Yeah, so for the paddle script we'll reference the paddles, so paddle R, paddle L, yeah, and speed on the Y will go 20, and then we want to add the score R and score L, and then for the ball we'll add the ball prefab over here, and then we can go to our paddles. So for the paddles we will add the bound script to our paddles, so we'll go paddle R, add it to it, add the bound script and L2, and then in both of them we can set the maximum and minimum values to 17 and minus 17 respectively. I figured it out beforehand, and then you can go to the right and left boundaries and add the tag of defeat to them. Okay, you can create a tag by going add tag over here and clicking on this plus icon, and then you can come back and assign the tag. So that was it, and okay, go to the ball, and we have the ball script is being added to the ball. I already did it, so you can just go and create a ball over here, add the scripts and bring it back to the project view and delete from the hierarchy, so that will create a prefab. So there we can't just put in the class, reference a class in the if it is a prefab. So in the script we are getting it on the start, and we are referencing the rigid body of the ball, and the speed is 20. So that is it, and we are also adding a rigid body, and the gravity scale is 0, and where's circle collider 2D. So that is it for the ball. And now if we play, okay, so we have the W and S controls for the paddle on the left hand, and the up arrow and down arrow for the paddle on the left hand. So yeah, we can move it. Yes, correct. Yeah, so the scoring system is accurate, and yes, you might think that it is a bit laggy. That's because that's in the recording, and if you create the project and play it, you'll find it's very smooth. And I think that there is a different like our paddles are getting a little bit below the ground, so you can fix it, and I think I'll just change the value in it, so we can go to our both the paddles, and we can go 16 and minus 16. I think that will be okay. So if we go to our paddles, let's see, if we press W, yeah, that is fine. Yeah, working on the both sides. So thank you very much. If you found this tutorial useful, please hit the like button. I'll have the link for the Unity file in the description. Do share this video, and if you're new to the channel, please subscribe. Yeah, thank you very much.